Here we are. It's mid-year. You made it. Almost. Or hopefully everyone has made it. But today I want to cover and talk about just kind of a mid-year check-in. Take the temperature of everyone, see how we're doing out there, and maybe give you a couple things to think about. That's what we're going to talk about here today. Welcome to the KeyHire Small Business Podcast, where we cover the issues that help owners scale their small business. I'm Corey Harlock, creator of KeyHire Solutions, and I'm going to be your host today. Man, what a year it's been so far, hasn't it? We have seen a lot of things happen. We've seen an economy surge. We've seen an economy slump. We've seen the economy get back to neutral. I was at a presentation today at lunch with an economist from Truist Bank, and he actually said, in terms of our economy, where are we in comparison to, whatever it was this December last year, November last year? And the answer is we are dead even. We got there the hard way. But his joke was, well, there's nothing much to talk about. It's been pretty boring. The economy is the same as it was 6 months ago. Obviously not true, because we've been on a bit of a wild ride here. And I know for small business owners in particular, it's been a little chaotic. It's been a little trying. And I feel like, it hasn't been long since we've kind of got this whole supply chain and COVID stuff sorted out, and now we are kind of right back into it. So I just wanted to talk about a few things that maybe we can start thinking about, getting ready for the new year, preparing for the new year, things I'm seeing on my end in regard to talent and what that might be. Let me move my mic closer. I always forget to bring it in. Maybe the sound will be a little better. The market, we've talked about this a lot in the last couple podcasts, but the market is a little softer right now, but we're still only 4.5% unemployment. Of course, that doesn't account for the people that have fallen off. I think it's kind of the people that left full-time jobs and then hung their own shingle and went out and became business owners. They're not included in that number. So there are more people out there, but still the people that are out there looking for jobs, it's still a relatively low number of people compared to the jobs that we are still looking to fill. Even the government layoffs, there's not enough people right there. It's a relatively small amount of people compared to the population and the people that are looking and the jobs that are available. So, the other information I got today was that the market is going to stay a little mushy, probably through the summer. And we had Bill Connerly. He was on. You can find him on the YouTube station. Also an economist, and he writes for Forbes, I think. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a contributor to Forbes. And he talked about, if we can come out of the summer with some trade agreements in place, he sees the economy rebounding, and probably fairly strongly. And if we don't start getting some trade agreements announced, it could get slower and harder. The good news is the small business owners of America are a resilient bunch. And even with all the craziness that's going on, they're finding a way to get it done, which is amazing. When it comes to your talent, if you can keep your people, try to keep your people. Don't lay people off. If you're kind of struggling a bit, or you're looking at the summer and thinking it's going to get a little tight, might be a time to talk to your people about, hey, can everyone go down to a 4-day work week? Can we take a little less pay to do that? Keep everyone, instead of, keeping a few people gainfully employed and letting some people go. The reason I say that is it's going to be hard to replace the people. Once the economy comes back, having to start from scratch with some potentially key roles when it's slow, you can get people to cover them up and do double duty. But once you get cranking again and get busy, you're going to need dedicated people, and having to go through the hiring process and compete with everyone else, because as we know, there's already more jobs than there are people. And if the economy starts trucking along again, it's going to be tight again. And now you're going to really be competing for that talent. And remember what happened last time we were competing for talent, wages went through the roof. So keeping your people now, keeping them happy, working with them to kind of keep them employed and not have to do layoffs or RIFs or anything like that would probably be a smart idea. So then when you do ramp up, you just kind of bring them on back in full-time capacity. They already know the job. They're ready to go immediately. They know where the bathrooms are. They know the deal. They know your software. You don't have to train. If you're a little slow, it might also be a great idea to start looking at pipeline building in terms of talent, especially if you're in the trades or specialized talent. I know security techs, people that do integrated security, people in manufacturing that are running machines. If you have some downtime now, especially in the summer, if it's going to be a little slower, might be a great time to start reaching out to trade schools that are teaching those skills and talking about internships or graduating classes, or getting out in front of those classes and talking to them about your business and bringing people in. It's something I talk to my clients a lot about, especially at that hourly level, is build that passive pipeline. If you can do an internship, do 2 or 3 of them with juniors of college, and then with seniors. If the juniors, you like them, bring in 3 or 4. If you like 2 of them, offer them an internship when they're done their senior year. And after that internship, if they're still really, if you like them and they've proven to be a good worker and they're someone you want to hire, you're hiring someone who knows your systems, who knows your building, who knows your product, who knows how to get there, who's proven they can be on time and reliable, and has the education to back them up. So the thought process is you bring in 3 or 4 in the junior year every year, and then you invite 1 or 2 back in their senior year, and then you're hiring 1. So every year at least. I mean, if you need to hire 2 or 3 every year, then multiply that bottom line. Maybe bring in 6 people in the junior year, invite 3 back to be hired, whatever that looks like. So you're always having some interns or students from programs that are teaching them to do what you need them to do. You're teaching them the business. They don't have to worry about internships or finding work when they get out of school. Heck, you can offer them a summer job as in their junior year. It's more affordable for you. It's a win-win on both sides, and you just keep inviting them back. So that's something you might be able to start thinking about in the slow time, because if we don't start ramping up in the fall, kind of Q3, Q4, then it'll probably be Q1, Q2 of 2026. It's coming back. It's going to come back. We just don't know when. We're all looking for a little stability in those markets. So something to think about in terms of now being a good time to really start building your pipelines up and putting things in place to help you with your staffing, skilled labor, when the market picks up a bit. Another popular topic is AI. And man, I think we've done lots and lots of podcasts on AI. But in this if we get a little mushy here in the summer, it might be time to start looking at how you can integrate AI in. Again, because once we ramp up and we get into the I hate the term, but the war for talent, if you can automate some processes and make it easier on your business, so you're hiring, you don't need to hire as many people, or you're hiring different people, maybe not competing with everyone else for the same people and the same skills and experience, but can maybe create some AI programming now. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes a minute, but this would be a good time to start thinking about AI and how you can integrate it into your business, and think about it in terms of hours. How can I take hours off the plate of my people And if you can use AI to get an hour here, an hour there, an hour here, an hour there, next thing you know, you might be able to shuffle your organization or just redefine a couple roles in the organization and eliminate a role where now you don't have to go out and hire for. So you're investing the money now rather than later, and you don't have to recruit. You don't have to wait for it. It's going to kind of be embedded in the business, and it'll be consistent in your business for you. Something else to think about. We've already kind of talked about the economic landscape, what's going to happen, but I guess the overall moral of the story today is, if we're going to get a little mushy here in the summer, try to hold your people as best you can. I think it's going to kind of be steady. I don't know that we're going to see a huge dip. Everyone's holding their breath right now, waiting to see. Not everyone. There are some companies that are doing really well. There's some companies that are holding their breath, and there's some companies that are not having a good time. If you can hold your people, hold them. So you don't have to get into that hiring competition when the market picks up. If your company is trucking along, now is a good time to be hiring, but it doesn't mean there's plentiful people out there. There are some people out there on the market, but it's still a competitive market. So don't fall into the trap of hiring what we call rental players. Those are the people that are out of jobs. I'm out of work. And as a business owner, we think now's the opportunity. I can get them for cheaper. I wouldn't have been able to afford them before, but now maybe I can get them at a price point that I can afford. It's not a winning recipe. It's a short-term fix. And that's why we call them rental players. When the market cranks again and someone calls them and offers them what they were originally making plus 10%, they're going to be gone out of your building. So you're not really solving a problem. You're putting someone in place who will help you for a few months, and then once the market gets going, they will be gone. And now you're going to have a hole to fill, and it's going to cost you a lot more to do that, and you're going to be competing against a bunch of other people. So if you're adding to your team now, make sure you're running a great process, you're maximizing the probability of success, but don't go bargain hunting. Make sure you're paying people what they're worth, even giving them a raise. They could have been laid off, they could be out of work, or they could have been told they're being laid off. Say they're making $100,000 now, you can offer them 100, or you can say, I'm still going to offer you 110 because I see the value. And if you want them to stick around once the economy picks up and people start calling them, and they will, it's not a question of, is someone calling my best employees? The reality is people are calling your best employees. And we want to always put them in a position to say, yeah, I'm not looking. And a way to do that is pay them what their value is. Paying them where they were and saying, I understand you're out of work, and I will match where you were, and we can put a review in process or in place, maybe 6-month or 12-month review to get you to that 110 based on your performance. That's fair. But if you have the funds to bring them in and say, hey, I don't care whether you've just been laid off or not, you're exactly what we need, and we think you're going to be a valuable member of our team, and I want to come in at a little higher than you were making, man, that's going to build some loyalty and really give them reason to say no to everyone else, because no one else gave them that offer when they were looking and you did. So they're going to have some loyalty built in there. So I think those are the kind of 3 things I would focus on right now: is managing your team, depending on where you are in that, or how your business is performing based on today's economy. Understanding that we'll probably have another 2 or 3 months of this until we start hearing some news about the agreements that are being struck, the trade agreements that are being struck, and preparing for the economy to start cranking whenever that happens. Looking at some AI or some other ways to supplement some of these roles, because there is currently too few people on the market. And once the economy upticks, there's going to be way too few people on the market, and now you get into competing. So if you can kind of solidify those roles now, solidify some of those tasks with some AI or some software things, start looking at that while you have the time. And the third piece is, while you have the time, go to some trade schools for those entry-level kind of technical roles that you're always looking to fill. Start building those relationships and making hiring people out of those programs in their junior year and their senior year, whether it's on an internship or a summer employee, and make sure you're keeping them informed and offering them jobs before they leave to go back to school to come back next summer. And that will lead to a full-time role, and structure that out. If you want to know how to structure that program, always reach out to me. I'm happy to kind of walk you through how to do that. It's a really effective way to build a pipeline of your skilled labor or entry-level people. Other than that, I think that's kind of all that's where I land with all this stuff right now in terms of a mid-year. I know it's been a rough start, or a bizarre start, not rough. Some rough for some, not for others, but it's certainly been crazy. We've done a lot of work to get to neutral. I think we're going to be here for a little bit longer. Hang in there, use your spare time wisely, get prepared, because business is going to start coming back and you want to be ready for it. You don't want to be the person at the end of that line who's battling for the talent they need and having to pay so much more than everyone else just because you're a little late to the party. So I'll leave you with that. I don't even know if it made sense. It was just kind of a stream of consciousness, but hopefully there was some value in there for you. I'd like to thank you for tuning into the KeyHire Small Business Podcast. If you got value out of today's episode and you want to keep up to date on our new content, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like it, share it with other business owners you think might get value out of this. Leave us a comment. Let us know what topics you'd like us to cover. If you prefer to listen to your podcast, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, or whatever your favorite platform is. Just search up the KeyHire Small Business Podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm Corey Harlock, and until next time, stop grinding, start growing.